4 seasons lost. In Austin, I stalled, paused. My eyes crawled to a table. Paralyzed by pairwise dice, then attend to this heaven slice of an angel wrapped in skin. Throw dice and woes of life. Love deprived, looking to revive. What's the meaning of life? One subjective paradise. Crystal chandeliers, motives reflected. Often mirrors appear, clear, grinning from ear to ear. Craving and raving and grain, rekindle the flame. Closer she draws near. Stay there, remove your underwear, shove it somewhere over there. In paradise, we know our purpose. In paradise, we know what our worth is. In paradise, we manifest dreams. In paradise, truth is what you conceive. Are you my
Hey everybody, welcome to this edition of the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday. I want to thank everybody for joining in and watching, and we got some good topics. We're going to, and some bad topics, I guess depends on how you want to look at it, but it is sports talk. It is talking about what's happening with sports lately, and some of it good, some of it bad. We're going to mix in, of course, both the good and the bad. And remember that, well, I don't know if actually going to play today, but it is the Women's World Series Game 1 is tonight. With all the rain we have, I don't know if the OU Texas game is actually going to get off. I would assume that it is because they do a fantastic job there at the USA Softball Hall of Fame Stadium taking care of it. So I'm assuming that it will be ready to go. That outfield, I'm sure, probably be a little soggy, even though I'm sure they got great drainage. It says Oklahoma. This is June, and, you know, it tends to rain a lot in Oklahoma around this time of the year. So, but anyway, tonight, Game 1 of the national championship. OU trying to win their second back-to-back national title run. And I believe, like I said, UCLA and Arizona both have done it 3 times. So hopefully OU will do it twice and then do it again. She has got, Patty Gasso has got a wonderful thing going there in Norman. She's doing a fantastic job with the Lady Sooners and what they're accomplishing there in Norman. So, and then, by the way, it's time for you guys to get their brand new stadium built. I mean, I think that she has earned that right to have a beautiful facility that is worthy of the reigning national champions, soon to be possibly back-to-back national champions. And, of course, Texas, the only one of 3 teams to beat them this year. They beat them first, snapping their winning streak. Was it 44, 48 games? And then, of course, we beat them in the Big 12 championship. And then UCLA, unfortunately, beat them 7-3 and then got the wrath of the Sooners. So we're going to see what happens with them and see if OU can continue their dominance. And like I said, this year they are clearly one of the most dominant offensive juggernauts that we've ever seen in women's college softball. And when you think about what they've done thus far, I think it's going to be they're going to continue to do what they're doing, and I don't see anybody stopping them, even though I would have loved to see my OSU Cowgirls not blow a 5-0 lead in the 4th and allow Texas to come back and beat them. So that would have been ultimately an amazing thing to see Oklahoma State versus Oklahoma in the finals. But as it stands, it's the Bedlam rivalry, Oklahoma versus Texas in the women's softball finals. So I hope everybody will go out there and watch that tonight. I, on the other hand, will not be one of those. I thought I was going to be there, but I was given an invitation and I declined to go because it's not my OSU Cowgirls, and I'm still feeling a little bit of pain from Monday night. So that being said, let's get into some of the day's topics. The New York Times, which I love reading the New York Times whenever I get a chance to read it, but they're one of the most reputable papers out there. They're not what do you call it? What does our former president call it? Whatever the media. I mean, I forget what he calls it. You know, his BS line tells you how much I remember. I forgot whatever he calls it, but fake news. Uh, I just look at it like this: when the New York Times comes out and says something, it's pretty much true. Now you can stick your head in the sand and say, okay, it's not true and whatever. But there have been over time one of the most reputable uh, uh, news sources in American history, kind of like 60 Minutes. When 60 Minutes tells you something, you can pretty much guarantee that it's right on point. And then we talked about it the other day about Deshaun Watson and his 22 lawsuits. Then, of course, Real Sports came out for their edition last month in May. I don't know if you know, watch Real Sports on HBO with Bryant Gumbel, but they have been an excellent news magazine over the past 25 plus years. And I really did not like the show of what they did because it was so slanted towards the women. And I just think that, until someone gets their day in court, who are you, who am I to judge them? And I just don't like what's going on with this. But it is disturbing that 23rd and now 24th person's come out, and what the 24th person said and what she said happened is pretty bad. And I look at and I'm just thinking, man, Deshaun, wow. But 66 women he's had massages with in 17 months. And if you had, I'm a proponent of the real massage, not the happy ending massage, but the real massage. I'm a huge proponent of getting massages, and but usually it's from the same person over and over and over. And I had the same masseuse for 4 years, and I went with her every week, and then it was every other week for 4 years. So it was the same person, and she was magnificent, but it was a massage, not a happy ending massage. And for Deshaun to go through 66 women in 17 months, that's just absolutely insane. And I hear my boy Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com has just joined me. Hey, Drew, what's up, man?
What's happening?
Just talked about
Already talking happy endings, huh?
Well, hopefully it'll be for the Golden State Warriors today and the OU Sooners the OU Sooners tonight, the Lady Sooners tonight. So those are happy endings that we're trying to discuss. Not Deshaun Watson's happy endings. Like I said, there's
66 of them.
Yeah, 66. 66.
He is not going to play football this year.
I don't think he's playing football. But Drew, I think the 24th person came out, and as I was just saying, to me, if he lied to the NFL,
yep,
and he lied to the Cleveland Browns,
yep,
he's done for a year, yep. And it could honestly void his Cleveland Browns contract. Now, whether that will happen or not, it could easily void that because what was our guy's name that played for the Chiefs that cost the Chiefs the first of 3 consecutive Super Bowls? It's the running back now of Cleveland. Oh my God! My mind just went blank. Oh my God! Anyway, when he lied to the Chiefs and lied to the NFL, he got suspended. Now, for me, what he did is, you kicked a woman on the ground in a hotel lobby, in a hotel hallway. To me, you didn't get enough. That should be a year sentence. First of all, why are you putting your hands on a woman? Then you're going to kick her? And they let that go. So, and I think the NFL is slowly starting to change. But, Jesus, Drew, 66 women in 17 months. And most of it was arranged by the Texans.
Yeah.
They knew.
But, and that the New York Times now has it. This isn't the only story they have. It's just going to be a slow drip.
Oh, yeah, they're coming. They're coming.
Every week there'll be a new story, a new sensationalism, and I mean, the NFL is going to have to get out in front of it.
Well, the whole thing is that, like I said, if he lied, if they knew about the 20, because I know the NFL already knew about the 66 women. The Houston Texans told them that. They already knew that. Okay, I know they knew about the 66. Okay, because that's recorded, so they already knew about that. But the 24th woman, if he didn't come clean and let them know about that and then how he ejaculated on her. But, a lot of these girls, I'm going, look, if he's doing that, why are you leaving like, oh, I'm afraid of my small business? Come on now.
Right.
Come on. Is Deshaun your only high-profile client? If he is, then how is he going to how's him, if he's your only high-profile client, how is that going to affect your business? You know what I'm saying? Like he's going to go around telling her, oh, she didn't give me a happy ending, so you don't want to be with her. Really? Those people are going to you,
Right.
if you're a professional, they're going to you for massages. They're not going to you for happy endings. So how is that going to affect? So a lot of that stuff, I'm with the grand jury. I'm like, come on now. But that being said, Drew, it's Women Only Wednesday, and this is a crazy story to pop out today. But I saw where he tried to settle for $100,000, and their ND agreements, non-disclosure agreements, and they were like, "Yeah, no, we're not going to do that." And I'm like, with him, just do what
Why
Kobe
would
did.
they? I mean, that didn't make any. I wouldn't settle for $100,000 if
No,
I was in.
no, and that. Did you see that attorney? I looked at him like,
Yeah.
I'm not the jury. I would look at this dude.
He
Oh
now
my
he
God.
might settle for $100,000.
Oh yeah, well that's 2.2 million, 30%. Yeah, that's a good day for
Hmm.
him. That's more money he'll probably make in his entire practice. But I'm just looking at that and I'm
Right.
just going, man, whatever. I just can't believe it, dude. I don't know. I don't know what to say. Drew, I really
But
don't.
job security for Baker Mayfield.
Baker's not going to be there, man. Baker's gone. And I don't understand what Cleveland's problem is. You're not. He can't come back into the locker room. Don't you agree? Can you bring Baker back in the locker room?
Boy, I mean, there'd have to be a lot of fence mending.
I just don't see it, Drew.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you bring him back in that locker room? He's clearly not well liked. So how do you
No.
bring him back? You got Jacoby Brissett. You've got whatever the other guy's name is. I don't. And if I'm Baker, at the beginning of this, when they signed Deshaun, I would have been like, yeah, man, let me get you through these first months. Let me build up my resume. Let me move on. But after they did all that other stuff, I don't blame Baker. I'm like, man, I wouldn't play for y'all either. I wouldn't want.
Right.
You know what? I wouldn't even have any clothes in my locker room. Would you? In my locker,
Probably not.
I
I mean,
wouldn't have. I
I'd
wouldn't
be
have a
I'd be
deodorant.
surprised. I'd be surprised his house not on the market if he's even living there.
Yeah, but the problem is, would anybody buy his house?
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, will anybody buy it? But that being said, I agree with you, Drew. This right here, this last one, it was disturbing. But you know what, dude? NFL just suspend him for a year.
Yeah.
They don't like Haslam. Just go on and suspend him for a year. You know what I'm saying? Just get it over with.
Yeah, they're dragging it out.
Dragging that. I mean, but you know what? A lot of it will depend on if he told the NFL, and I don't think he did.
Right.
Do you think he was that honest? Because these guys
No,
lie
I mean
all the
that's what
time.
I mean. That's kind of the premise of the New York Times article is that's kind of why it got released. I think.
Yeah, I don't think he wasn't
Basically, they're
honest.
refuting the fact that basically he lied to the NFL and lied to the Cleveland Browns, and that's getting worse and worse and worse. It's almost like a PR nightmare for the NFL. So now they're trying to backtrack their way out of it.
Well, when Tyree got in trouble, the reason why he stayed with the Chiefs, he was completely honest with them about
Yeah.
what happened. He was upfront, and the tape ended up proving, once they got a hold of the tape and what she actually said and did, that Tyreek was proven right about his actions and what he said and what he didn't. And I just hated the way the media did, where they just took out snippets of the conversation to make Tyreek look as horrible as he possibly could, and it had zero to do with it. Then they don't come back and apologize and say, "Oh, well, we were wrong." I don't like
Oh
that.
yeah.
I don't like that. That's why I'm not going to jump out here and talk trash on him, because my deal is this: I don't know what happened. All I know is he's had 2 grand juries. They both said they weren't going to indict,
Yeah.
but now he's got a
Yeah, I mean,
24.
that's the thing that working in his favor.
Yep.
That's about the only thing working in his favor.
Yep, it is. But my deal is this: if you lie to me, Drew, about what you said you did, like you and I talked about with your grandfather,
Yeah.
rest in peace. Clarence Wright. Don't lie to him when he asks you a question. Don't lie to him.
He
You
already,
lie to him.
he already knew
Ooh,
the
he
answer.
already knew. And just seeing him, just looking at you like, boy, don't lie. Don't lie to me. But that's what guys do, man. They get in trouble, and the first thing they do is they lie and try to conceal instead of saying, look, here's everything. This is what happened. Blah, blah, blah. And you're not going to get hit from behind. You're not going to get blindsided by anything. Here's what happened, and here's what we did. So, but of course, clearly he did not do that. Now let's talk about something more fun. Let's talk about your boy Cam Newton.
Why you got to be my boy, old Scam Newton?
I'm better than 30. There's not 32 quarterbacks better than me. I can name quite a
yes,
few
there
that are
is.
better than you. I can name quite a
Maybe
few.
more. He's not doing himself any favors.
None. And it's so bad as his last full year, he finished 30 or 29th or 30th out of 33 quarterbacks he had a 39 passer rating.
Yeah.
A 39, Drew. He is, dude. And when he came back from the Super Bowl and they played the Broncos and they let him get hit in the head and Broncos brutalized him that day.
Yeah.
And he's never been the same guy that. And I talk about this. Had that been Tom Brady, those guys have been thrown out, hitting him in the helmet and all that stuff. But it's the same old thing with like Shaq. I mean, you're a big dude, so they let you take a little bit more punishment than they would the normal guy.
Yeah.
But for him, Drew, come on now. Do you think would anybody take him, would you?
Well, I mean, with injuries the way they go, I mean, somebody get desperate, probably.
Yeah, but Drew, he can't throw. All he can do is run. I mean,
he used to be able to throw. He used to be able to throw the ball. Now he's pretty much relegated to the jump pass and the quarterback draw.
And that's about it. And the question is, who runs the football in the NFL anymore besides the Ravens with the quarterback?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a good point.
I mean, and you look at, I saw this thing where the Raiders signed Colin Kaepernick, and I just don't know how effective he is after, what has he been out, 5 years, 7 years?
I didn't think that went through.
It didn't, because I just saw it yesterday that they had signed him.
Okay.
But, my thing is this, why, I mean, what for?
Yeah.
I mean, you've been gone 7 years.
7 years?
5 or 7 years. You're done. You can't come back and quarterback in this. This is a completely different NFL than when you left. Now, I do agree with he's a Curt Flood to me. I don't know if people know who Curt Flood is, but he's the one that originated free agency in baseball, and he took a killing for what he did. He never was rewarded for his great play, and he played for the center fielder for the St. Louis Cardinals, and he was, he could play. He could play, but he took a beating just like Colin Kaepernick did for racism. He took a beating for everyone about that. So I just don't see him. Drew, I think 7 years is a long time, man.
The NFL is a different animal than the NBA and the Major League Baseball and what they do on their PR side.
Yep.
So I think that has a lot to do. I think if Colin Kaepernick was in the NBA, he'd be playing. If he was in Major League Baseball, he'd be on the field.
Yeah.
But he's in the NFL, and that's completely different.
Well, that's why he got paid. Collusion. Yeah. That's why he got paid. They basically said, you're not going to do this. And I don't mean this. I don't mean this.
We don't want you talking, and we're going to pay you to shut up.
Shut up. They paid him because they lost the lawsuit because they were in collusion against him. They didn't like that he did what he did. They didn't want their boys doing that, and they punished him for it. And then they had to pay for it. But for them collectively, they're all billionaires. What did they give him? $7 million or $10 million or what's that?
It was chicken scratch.
What's that? $1 million a piece, $500,000 a team, or something stupid? Mm-hmm. Like they really felt that. I think if you're going to find somebody,
they made that on beer concessions.
Oh yeah, unreal. I just like, man, what a joke. But they did lose, and they were in collusion, and everybody knew they were in collusion. Colin Kaepernick was one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, without question. When he did what he did. But anyway, so that being said, him being signed by them, I'm like, whatever. But Cam Newton, to me, I never liked Cam. I didn't like the way he presented himself, his arrogance. That look at me like remember he scored the touchdown when he came back from Carolina. He ran by all of his teammates, went to the center to the middle field, put the deal and opened up his Superman. And not one player was over. They all looked at him like, really? Really? You're going to do that all by yourself? His arrogance, man, is just beyond me. And then, I'm sorry, you're the quarterback of an NFL team, you're wearing a scarf.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You're wearing a scarf, Drew. You're wearing a scarf.
In the summer.
You're wearing a scarf. I was like, wow, dude, you're wearing a scarf. Are you serious right now? What do you think your team owner? And that's the whole problem. Like I tell people all day long, and like with Antonio Brown, the leagues will put up with you until your talent distinct when it falls. When
Mm-hmm.
your talent falls off, they get rid of you so fast. They're like, no, we don't want no part of that. And Antonio Brown got another deal because, like I told you the other day, I was arguing with the guys at the barbershop. Are you serious, dude? Or on the deck the other night about Antonio Brown. You think Tom
Yeah.
Brady was not going to get him his passes? You think he wasn't going to get 5 catches in 2 games? Really?
Yeah, he'd have made it happen.
I mean, somebody who calls Gronk back out, and Gronk didn't even know he was 1 catch short of his bonus. Hey, man, you better get out here. Let me throw you this one in the flat real quick so you get your bonus. And then he goes right back out the game. I mean, come on now. I mean, Drew, you and me both. We're going to make sure our boy gets taken care of, are we not?
Right.
We're going to take care of our boy. Come on now. It's so frustrating to me. Now, on the best note, or maybe a worse note, for all you Bronco fans, and our boy Jose Fierro of Oak Grove Trucking, this is meant for you, my brother. Your Broncos got bought by Rob Walton for $4.65 billion. That's with a B, Drew, not M with a million. That's B with $1 billion.
Yep.
Right?
And that I like it though, because that now takes a little of the spotlight off, a little shine off of my boy Jerry Jones. Walton's a little crazy too.
Just like him. Oh, I'm hands on. I'm this and that.
With a lot more money than Jerry's got.
A lot more money than Jerry will ever have.
Yeah.
Ever have. I saw the deal today with Skip and his idiotic takes that he always does, so people were watching, which of course, I don't even listen to him anymore, Drew. Because he says stuff, I go, whoop, click, let me move on to somebody else.
Right.
Stop it.
Yeah, he's just clickbait. He tries to be clickbait every day.
Yeah, he does. Well, you know what he does? He clicks me right off of it. I listen to what Shannon Sharp says, and then I'll listen to whatever his rebuttal is. And I'm like, okay, good point, and bye. You're an idiot. You're coming off. You're an old 70-something-year-old man who, like I tell you, like I was saying yesterday, what cracks me up, as soon as Shannon starts beating him up, Drew, he starts rocking. He starts rocking in his seat. I just laugh. When I see that, I just start laughing. I'm like, yeah, he beating you up, ain't he, bro? That little nonsense you said, Shannon's like, man, come on, man. That ain't true. Come on now. Come on, Skip.
Mm-hmm.
What are you talking about? I mean,
he's normally just bashing LeBron or hugging up to Tom Brady. That's about his only two takes.
That is it. Well, hey, Drew, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come right back. We're going to give our sponsors some love. I want to take this time to thank my guys at Collaborative Logic. If you have any IT needs, these guys are the people you want to call. My boy Russell over there, and then, of course, Mark Long at SRB, any engineering, surveying, planning needs, Oak Grove Trucking, and the boy we're talking about, our boy right now, Jose Fierro, that we're going to be busting on about his Broncos. We're going to finish that. And then, of course, my boys at Greg and Max at Nafe Cole. But anyway, Drew, so back to that. I mean, how I laugh at Skip, and I laugh at some of the stuff he says all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, he was talking about Cooper Kupp and they were talking about Aaron Donald and all. I'm like,
right.
Aaron Donald is the best player on your team. He is the most important player on your team. Not the most valuable, because that's Matthew Stafford, and your quarterback is the most valuable player on anybody's team. You agree with that, right, Drew? The quarterback's the most valuable player. But the most important player on the Rams. Yeah, you garbled on that. I didn't hear you. Guess we lost Drew there for a second. But I was making that point yesterday that the most important player and the most valuable player are two totally different things. Are you back, Drew?
I think so.
Okay, go ahead. Now, what was your point?
I'm out in the middle of nowhere today, but anyway, I'm saying is, if you don't have, a top 10 rated quarterback, you're not making the playoffs.
No, you're not doing anything. You're not doing anything. Now, that being said, how much do you think this Rob Walton guy is going to jump in and be a hands-on and try to do everything, or is he going to make the Broncos stay where they were and the possibility of winning a championship? Now, Shannon says that the Broncos will win a championship before the Cowboys.
I might agree with that.
Not if he gets in there and starts meddling.
I mean, they got Russell Wilson. That's a big step forward.
Yep, their defense is solid. Their offense is solid. They've got running backs. They've got defense.
Solid.
They got your boy Randy.
The problem is they're probably in one of the best divisions of football.
Yeah.
I heard
Hey,
them.
well, that reminds me. We're going to talk about
Basically a free pass to the playoffs every year.
my question is that who you think is going to get left out of that? Is it the Broncos, the Chargers, the Chiefs, or the Raiders? All four of
Raiders.
them can't go.
Raiders.
You think the Raiders will get left out and the other three will go?
Yep.
You're not a fan of Derek Carr, then I take it, huh?
Just the other teams are better.
Well,
I mean,
they've seen.
I mean, better defensively, better quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, Derek Carr is the least of the four quarterbacks. There's no doubt, but he probably has the best wide receiver of the four quarterbacks. You know, and he's playing with his boy in college. They have a rapport,
He will
so
help this year.
we'll see. We'll see what happens with that too. So, but I'm with you, man. I think that that quarterback, and it's just like me. I laugh at Colin Cowherd, dude. He just hates Patrick Mahomes. Every time he brings up quarterbacks, he talks about two quarterbacks. Now it used to be three. Now it's two. It's Joe Burrow and Matt Stafford. Now, of course, he's kissing everybody's butt at the Rams because he's in L.A. But still, I'm like, Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. Stop it. People try to tell him that. He gets mad. He gets that little because they disagree. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the NFL. That's without. He does stuff nobody else can do. Period. Now, the closest person to him is Josh Allen. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, they're both salty. I mean, I would put Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers tucked in right in there behind
Well,
him.
but Aaron is the most gifted thrower I've ever seen. I mean, he's just Drew. He's ridiculous. Of his touchdown to interception ratio, it's just mind-boggling. You know what I'm saying? He just throws a pretty ball. It's always on point. But my thing with Mahomes is Drew, he throws sideways, sidearm, underneath, flying flat out like in the Super Bowl. He's jumping sideways. He's not even on the ground. He throws a 40-yard strike that bounces off his guy's helmet in the end zone. He's the only one can do that. But then Josh is just big and physical, and he does stuff, and I think he's too reckless, and he's not going to last long because he almost has the Cam Newton mentality. And Russell Wilson is just smart as hell. You know, he gets down, he doesn't get hit. You know, he makes good plays. He's made some dumb decisions late in games, though, Drew. He really has.
Really, yeah, he has. Early in his career, he really didn't do that.
No. Ever since the Super Bowl, which you and I both agree, why would you not hand it off to Marshawn Lynch? They're going to let you score.
Yeah.
And to me, that would have cemented Tom Brady's legacy one way or another. You've got to drive 80 yards against arguably one of the top 10 defenses of all time for a touchdown, not a field goal like you normally do. You just have to drive down there and get a field goal. You have to be Joe Montana and go get 6. I don't think he could have got it done, Drew. Or I would have liked to see it happen.
Probably the worst call in Super Bowl history.
Yeah, oh, no doubt. And that's all. And it was all about trying to get Russell the MVP. Because Marshawn Lynch was going to be the MVP, and they didn't want it. Because they didn't like, he's Marshawn Lynch. I mean, let's face it. He's just out there. He's out there. But anyway, we're gonna get into a little NBA since that's what you and I both love. And by the way, you can't tell, Drew. I've got you can't see it because of the light color, but I've got your North Carolina, that Carolina blue on, with the black trim T-shirt. By the way, how you like your shirt? You like it?
I do like it. I wore it the other night.
That's nice, ain't it?
Yeah.
That long sleeve
Good
dry
colors.
fit, huh?
Good colors.
Oh my God. Anyways, let's. We're not talking about basketball yet. Let's talk about LeBron. What's up with him? Keep bringing up the Warriors.
Yeah, I mean, it's like he's just planting seeds out there. I mean, where he wants to go, and he's not. I highly doubt he's going to leave the state of California if he does go anywhere.
No, he's not good. But the problem is, if he leaves L.A., all that money he was making and all that stuff, the deals he's doing, because he's LeBron James playing for the Lakers, those Laker backers and those Laker fans, they ain't gonna do that with him no more.
Oh yeah.
That ain't happening no more. What did he make $121 million in 1 year?
Yeah, I think that's what they said yesterday. 121 million.
121 in 1 year. And it's because
But
he
his
went to
salary,
L.A.
his salary is what, 45, 42?
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But it came down to the fact that he's in L.A. He plays for the Lakers, and so all of those Laker fans, all those Laker people, 'cause they're all producers. They all own studios. Those are the people that own the Laker fans.
Right.
And because he's a Laker and he brought him a championship, they're doing money. But if you leave and you want to go because he can say what he wants to, they all blame him for this team that we just had. He cannot take credit all he wants to, but everybody's blaming him for the team we just had.
Right.
You know? And what do you think about Darwin Ham? We didn't talk about Darwin Ham's comments about Russell. What'd you think about that?
Well, I mean, I think if the Lakers are tying their wagon to Westbrook, I don't think there's any doubt that they're going to keep him around. I mean, he's at the news conference.
Yeah,
Ham's bringing him up. That to me, I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, Darwin to me was letting him know, hey, you're going to have to sacrifice, which means you're going to have to start playing defense. All that triple-double stuff, hanging out, not doing that, trying to get that extra, all that stuff's nonsense. You're going to play some defense that you ain't playing. And, I mean, what?
And, kind of, to me, it's like, okay, basically LeBron wasn't going to, if he's taking the blame, let Westbrook take all the blame. So you'd think that they'd be trying to move Westbrook, but now they're not going to. Doesn't look like they're going to.
Well, Drew, the problem is you can't move him right now because everybody knows you're trying to get rid of him. So now they're trying to say we're not going to move him to at least add some value. But to me, you're talking about your 27th or 28th first round pick. That's 5 years from now. You know what I'm saying? That's 5 years from now. How is that going to help you right today? How is that going to help you win today?
How many years does Westbrook have left on his contract? 2?
No, it's last year.
Next year?
This is it.
Last year.
This is it.
Yeah, I mean, so it really doesn't make any sense to sacrifice your future. Might as well keep him for one more year.
Well, to me, this is how I look at it. If you when LeBron, Westbrook, and AD were all playing, the Lakers were barely above 500. I think they were 2 games above 500. So clearly, it doesn't work. So to me, if you're having the same issue midway through the season, just go ahead and cut him, take your losses, and move on down the road.
Right.
Or somebody like a DC or like the Knicks would take him. And then, because it's like now Donovan Mitchell, after Quinn Snyder. You and I didn't talk about that. Quinn Snyder leaving. Utah.
Right.
Resigning. And so what do you do with that?
That kind of surprised me.
Well, I think he was done. I think he was done with it. He realized he's not going to get them. They're not going to be any more than what they are. Rudy Gobert can't. I mean, quite frankly, if you can't give him lobs, and I don't think Mike Conley was the answer that they thought he was going to be. Do you, Drew?
No.
I don't think he was.
No, and he got that injury. That injury got him too. What is a knee injury?
Yeah, and he was hurt, but still, he wasn't the answer that he thought he was going to be. Made a lot of money.
He definitely wasn't the piece that they thought they were going to put next to.
No, getting rid of Ricky Rubio. Right, getting rid of Ricky Rubio. They thought, okay, we're going to have that, and it was not the answer that they thought he was going to have. I mean, that's the way I look at it. You know what I'm saying? That's how I see it. I don't see. I thought he would come in. I thought he'd play better. I thought he would be that. He could knock down the shots. He could do all those things, and quite frankly, he didn't do any of that. No. He didn't do any of that, and I was very surprised. But Donovan Mitchell to the Knicks. What do you think about that?
I like it. I like it for the Knicks.
Or Russell Westbrook to the Knicks.
Yeah, I'd rather see that. But
yeah. Well,
if you're the Knicks, you'd rather have Mitchell.
Oh yeah, no doubt about that. But if I'm Utah, I'm not giving up. I'm not giving him up.
No,
I'm not giving him up. No way. No way is that happening.
That's their best piece. That's what they got.
Yep. There's no doubt. And the rest of those guys are just role players, and that's it. But you and I had talked about that. We think that the Lakers just need to send Russell to Indiana and get Buddy Hield, who you should have had already.
Yep.
And get Conacher, get him. Both of those guys, or not Conacher, but what's our guy's name? Get him. Have both of those guys and be done with it. That's what you should do. You know what I'm saying?
I think that deal. I think that deal is come and gone, though. I don't think that deal's on the table.
Yeah, it's
anymore.
not anymore. No, it's not. But I'm just saying, to me, that's what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of him. But at the other side of it, it's like LeBron is sitting here, and it's almost like, oh, I want out of there. Well, LeBron, what you gonna do, bro? Huh? What you gonna do, LeBron?
He gonna move on to the next. Move on to the next team.
Well, he's chasing that ring, which I don't blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. I see him chasing it, but dude, you ain't the one, bro.
They had a chance to do it last year. You get DeRozan, you get Buddy Hield on that team.
What you already
You
had.
a chance.
But you know what? He wanted his boys. His arrogance. Oh, we can win a championship all us together. No, there's a reason why Carmelo could not win. There's a reason why Russell could not win. And then you brought them into a team. You can't dribble, you can't defend, you can't rebound. You guys got average shooters who are in there who are aging. Come on. It was frustrating. You and I both were frustrated as Laker fans.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
I don't see it getting any better.
No, I don't. I don't either. I want to take this opportunity, though, Drew, to thank our peeps at Y&B, family owned and operated since 1912.
The bank that makes things happen.
Yes, sir. You can go pre-qualify online for any loans at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com if you need any loans as far as your car, your house. I can't even talk today. I don't know what the hell. I don't know what my problem is today. I really don't know what my problem is today.
Middle of the week, man. Hump day.
Yep, it's Women Only Wednesday, brother. It's Women Only Wednesday. But anyway, we want to thank Y&B for sponsoring us for all of our remote broadcasts for minority and black-owned businesses around the city. So, by the way, you missed yesterday. I went and got me some barbecue, had some hot links, some greens, some sliced brisket, some mac and cheese, and of course, some watermelon sweet tea with some yellow cake. Oh my God, a lemon cake. Oh, it was good last night. I mean, I ate some yesterday, but that lemon cake with that cold Brahms milk, man, woo, that hit the spot late last night. I really needed that.
Uh-huh.
Oh man. All right, now we do have a big, huge game tonight, Drew. Celtics versus Golden State. Game 3, series tied 0-0. Now, we're going to go to your Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. Randy still can't decide which one, who's who, whether you're the one with the hat or without the hat in your photo. But you taking Golden State plus 3.5.
I am. I'm kind of all over the board with my picks, but I like the Celtics in the first quarter, and I like the Celtics at halftime, but I like Golden State in the overall game.
Yep.
Getting the 3.5.
Now, what was interesting is that Golden State was -4 at the beginning of the week, and they dropped to plus 3.5. What happened?
They've always been. They've been +4. It's dropped down a little.
Oh, okay. So we had it backwards then, because on the show we had it. I must have misread that. Then I had Golden State myself.
Celtics been a short favorite all week. The over/under pretty much stayed the same at 212, 212.5, depending on what book you're looking at.
But I agree with you. I think the under is good today, but
it's going to be a physical basketball game.
It really is. It really is going to be a physical game. And I look at it, man, I like the first quarter. The Celtics, I think they'll come out. I think they'll do well the first half. I'm going to go against you, though. I'm going to take Golden State at plus 2.5 in the first half. I do like the Celtics first quarter, but I'm gonna go opposite you and take Golden State plus 2.5 first quarter. You should put something for the third quarter, because I'm going to take Golden State, whatever that is, because they were plus 14 and plus 22 in the third quarters.
The thing is, taking Boston, which, I mean, a lot of people are going to take Boston. I mean, they're a short favorite, but, they're one second half run away from, Curry hitting a few threes or Thompson hitting a few threes to Golden State getting a backdoor cover or possibly winning the game.
Well, that's true, but then they're also Golden State is a deal away from only scoring 14 or 16 points in the fourth quarter and smashing them the other 3. So the only difference between game 1 and game 2 is Golden State kept scoring in the fourth quarter. That's the difference.
Correct.
I mean, to me, and Boston going 11 for 13 in the fourth quarter from three, stupid. So if that's what it's going to take for them to win, I'm not picking them. If you got to go 11 for 13 in the fourth quarter to beat Golden State on a consistent 4 times in the series, I'm not backing you. I'm not backing you.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, the
But
rest.
you gotta figure Boston's they're gonna get a little fair share of the calls tonight. They're probably gonna live on the free throw line. But I think you're gonna see a tempo of that game a lot slower tonight.
Well, I
On
agree
the
with
Boston
that,
side.
but on the side of that, Drew, both teams. When I looked at, I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna pull up the stats. Golden State in the last game shot 20 free throws. Celtics shot 17. So they shot 17 in the first game and the second game. So they're averaging 17 free throws a game. Golden State's averaging about the same. Free throw shooting percentage. The first game Celtics shot 50% from the field. They shot 37 the second game. So to me, it's all about how good they shoot the basketball. And the question is, they're being home, and they haven't played well at home. They play on the road well. But this is what I've said. I think that after they lost, I said Golden State will win games 2 and 3. Boston will win game 4. And Golden State will win games 5 and 6. That's how I picked it. Then Golden State to go to win in 6. Because, I figured they win game 2. They're going to come back, and they're historically very, very good in game 3s. Golden State is. So I figured Golden State would come out and they'd win game 3 and make it 2-1, take the home court back. Boston's going to come out like gangbusters and kill them in game 4. And then Golden State get games 5 and then go home and get game 6. But that's kind of how I think.
Yeah, man. It's there's a big game tonight. A lot hinges on this game. Game, game 3 is a pretty much a telltale sign of who's going to win the series most likely.
I say, this is me, I tell everybody. We were arguing about this at the barbershop the other day. Games 3, 5, and 7 are your most important. This guy was like, game 1, I go, games 3, 5, and if there's a game 7 are your most important games of the series. If you really want to say 1, 3, 5, and 7, okay. But to me, game 1 is game 1, but game 3 and game 5 are the two tail because then you're either up 3-2 or it's over.
Yeah.
So games 3 and 5, because you're up 2-1, you're up 3-0, or you're up 4, you ended or you're up 3-2. So games 3 and 5, and then of course game 7 is clearly the most important game in anything, period. But games 3 and 5 are your most important games to me. And Golden State usually does really well in games 3 and 5. And so, but I agree with you though, Drew, on your picks. I do like Golden State +3. I believe I'm with you with the overall pick. The under is good as well. You've got your Braves, I see, -245, Drew.
On fire. 7 in a row.
Look at you. Rangers and the Indians. Now, of course, we're talking about the Texas Rangers, not the New York Rangers and their blunder last night. I don't know what the hell that was by them last night.
Bad.
But the Rangers and Indians over 7. You're taking the
Brewers. I'm still calling the Indians and not the Guardians.
Yes. Are they the Cleveland Guardians? I can't call them that. The Cleveland Indians, man. I can't call them that, man. I'm sorry. And that's nothing against it. I am Indian, so I'm a part Indian, so I'm going to say what I want to. Brewers, -114.5. You like those Milwaukee Brewers, do you?
Well, they cost me last night, though. I'm kind of betting with my heart there. I needed them to beat the Mets.
Yep. And the Blue Jays, -147? That's a lot, isn't it?
They're not faring too well right now. That one may go in the loser column. Their Royals are. Let me see. Last time I looked at it here, Royals are winning 4-3 or 5-3. Let me see here. Oh, let's look here. Blue Jays, Royals, top 5, 5-3 Royals.
Yeah, but when you talk about though, I mean, I sit there and I look at the Royals are winning, but you had the Brewers,
right?
Not the Blue Jays.
Well, I had the Blue Jays against the Royals.
Oh, then I must didn't have it in there. Yeah, you had the Blue Jays. Yes, you sure as hell did. My bad.
Yep.
Hey man, you got to keep me from cursing, man. We need a beeper, man.
So we need a beeper.
We need a beeper on there, like a beep beep. When it out, I'm like a beep.
Need to go on a 3-second delay.
But you can do that on those podcasts. You can go, you can beep out stuff. You can't.
We just need to get a swear jar.
That is a good idea. Hey, and we could give it to charity. That's a good idea. Every
Yep.
time we swore you had to put $1 in it or $5 or something. Well, hey, if
Mm-hmm.
that was the case, Randy Wright, he just might as well fund the whole thing because we know what the way
Yeah,
he
I mean,
can't.
he could just
Yeah,
sponsor the whole show.
well,
It could
because
be
we
the
know the way he
all right
curses,
show.
where he uses bad language. You know we're gonna get a text on that. You know
Uh-huh.
something's gonna happen on that. But anyway, so speaking of Boston, your boy Jason Tatum, his superstar, non-superstar comment. Are you serious, Jason? What are you doing, bro?
Yeah, I mean, you got to. I mean, you are a superstar of that team. He's got to be.
And it's like,
Me.
I mean, look, you're a superstar, but if you don't believe it, you play like that too. You're up and down.
Right.
I mean, be like Kevin Durant. I love that the quote. I forget who showed the quote today. They were talking, or the clip, and was Patrick Beverly was guarding,
Yeah.
Kevin Durant. He was talking to Kevin Durant. Goes, man, I'm Kevin Durant. Don't you know who I am?
And
I mean, you serious right now?
I can't get all tied up with Patrick Beverly.
Beverly. I love that. I'm Kevin Durant. Don't you know who I am? I love it, man. I love that beast. Jason needs to have more of that mentality.
A little more
So,
swagger.
more swagger, more swagger. What do you think about the Sooners tonight, brother?
I try not to, but
No, it's the girls softball. Chill out, bro.
I know it. I know it. I think they're dominant and they're gonna sweep them 2-0.
You think so?
Yeah. Texas shouldn't even be in that game. Oklahoma State pissed down their leg and gave it away.
Yep, up 5-0 in the fourth, brother. Up 5-0
Yeah, you just
in the fourth.
I mean, that whole evening right there took a turn about 10 o'clock at night, and Oklahoma State baseball couldn't get a base hit, and OU women's softball or Oklahoma State women's softball couldn't throw the ball to second base.
Couldn't throw the ball to second base. It was frustrating. It was so frustrating. So, but anyway, we got one more thing to talk about. So let me take a quick break to thank our sponsors, our guys at Collaborative Logic, and my boy Russell Willifort at Collaborative Logic. If you need anything happening as far as your IT needs, SRB, and my guy Mark Long over there. If you need any engineering, surveying, or planning, need anything hauled off, talk to my boy or our guy. I guess you can't say boy, can you? Our dude Jose Fierro at Oak Grove Trucking, and of course my guys Max and Greg Nafee over at Nafco. Now, Drew, we're gonna go in and we're gonna talk about this, okay? The thing that was frustrating about the Cowgirls. 5-0. All you gotta do is just make play. You just don't beat yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And Texas, that inning, Drew, went from Texas being down in the dumps thinking I'm in trouble to Oklahoma State going, oh shit, they've got momentum now, and got tight.
Yeah.
Because you can still win 5-3, but they got tight and it was over. And Texas got momentum and it was over. And we've talked about that over and over and over about momentum and how it affects players and teams. So
I don't think the Cowgirls didn't get a base hit out of that.
No, they were shell shocked. They were shell shocked. I mean, 2 errors back. I mean, I'm like, man, just. But the pressure of doing that, and like I said, they'll come back. The older people will never forget it. It's just like me with Princeton. Hadn't got over that. It's been 30 years, still hadn't gotten over. I probably will never get over that loss. And there's some losses that, in high school, whatever, some losses you never get over. I didn't get over my loss against Star Spencer in the championship finals by 1 because the referee swallowed the whistle. So, I'm not going to let that go. If a dude jumps in the air, if you jump in the air, you leave your feet, and you come down and you smack me, and I go off the glass for an and 1 and you don't count it, you look at me, you don't count it. And by the way, you're a graduate of Star Spencer High School. How the hell does a Star Spencer High School graduate referee a championship game with his former team, with his former school?
Yeah, that doesn't make much sense.
But you know what? We still should have won the game. But anyway, that being said, they're not going to get over that, and the young girls, it can give them motivation for next year and upcoming. So they'll know what to do next time they're in that situation. I promise you, they won't do that again. So now let's get into this live golf. I think it's funny that DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, we ain't going to talk Phil because Phil is not relevant. But those two are relevant. But Dustin Johnson, $125 million. DeChambeau, supposedly $100-something million.
Right.
And this shows you the integrity of both of them. Both of them know they're not going to be able to win. So they're going to they're basically making money playing against nobodies. That's what they're doing. And the other guys are going over
Well,
there knowing they're not going to make any money, so let's go over there. But this is
well,
Tiger.
the thing that's going to be interesting, and they kind of brought it up yesterday, is are they going to let these guys play in the majors?
Well, they're going to. The
You know,
USGA, the U.S. Open said yes.
okay,
They said yes because they've already qualified, and they made
right.
a point that that's for this year. Okay, that's this year because the qualifications were if you've qualified up until da 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 da, then they're not going to suspend you for this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now next year, I think they're going to come back and they're going to redo the rules and
Right.
revamp it. That's what I think. But they said, look, the rules are you can't just go and change the rules. Where the PGA has already had their rules, the European Tour already had their rules. So the USGA said that, but playing in the Masters, I can promise you, they ain't playing in the Masters. The Masters don't. Hey, Drew, they are the one tournament they don't care what you think.
Right.
Am I wrong? They are.
No, you're not. You're not at all.
They,
I mean, I'm really surprised that the USGA didn't just step in and say, hey, if you're going to go and play in those tournaments and you're not playing in these majors. I mean, that kind of surprised me, honestly.
well, he just.
I
well,
mean, as stickler as they normally are.
Well, he just said it's because they had already qualified. So he says, it's kind of like, but he did make the point for this year. Okay, he was adamant about this year, not going forward, but this year because they've already qualified. And he's like, well, our rules are this. If you've already qualified, then we can't really say no. But from this point on, they're going to change it and go. He said we've been doing this for 100-something years, and we do reserve the right to change and do what we want to do. So I'm sure they're going to change the rules.
Does the Live Golf, do they have TV contracts?
Nope.
Or are they on TV?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No TV. They ain't got none of that. And they're going to have weak fields. They're in little tournaments. No major courses have given them rights to do it because why would they? They don't want to piss the PGA Tour off.
So basically, it's all just sole sponsorships of these tournaments of these.
They're sponsored. That's correct. That's correct. And what they're doing basically is they're going to courses that the PGA. They know that the PGA would never give them. They're not going to have a PGA event.
Right.
So they're going to the courses. So then they're paying. Drew, I promise you, they're giving them millions of dollars to play on those courses. I promise you that. And the Saudis have enough money. But my deal is this: they offered Tiger $1 billion, and he said no. And this guy was talking about, he's worth $1 billion. $1 billion is a lot of money, bro. I don't care how much money you got. $1 billion is a lot of money to say no to.
Well, I think a lot. Tiger just doesn't want to be in the spotlight anymore. I mean, he's coming off an injury. I just think he just.
But Drew,
he's not going to. He just burnt out.
And he's not going to ruin his legacy.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Exactly. Right. There's no reason.
He's not going to ruin over $1 billion.
A billion is a billion.
Yeah, but Drew, the whole thing is this: he's already got $1 billion. So. I mean, he's not going to spend that money. And his kids, let's face it, like what did, what's Warren Buffett say? He goes, what's the difference between $500 million and $1 billion? You can't spend it anyway. It's like, what's the difference? He goes, what can't you buy with $500 million that you could buy with $1 billion?
The Denver Broncos.
Now that would be, hey, Drew, that would be $4.65 billion. Not $1 billion, 4.65. And then George Lucas's wife, his partner, with him on that. So I thought that was pretty interesting. That you had to bring in an African American in there with you. Probably that helped. An African American woman.
She sat on the board of Chase and a couple other things too.
Starbucks. Yeah. So she's sharp. She's sharp in her own right. Has her own capital management group. She's sharp in her own right. So let's not take that away. But it's funny that DeChambeau and Jordan Spieth said no. Rory said no. JT and them said no. So if they're giving DeChambeau 100, or if they gave DJ 125 and DeChambeau 150, whatever, how much did they offer Rory, Jordan, and JT?
Right.
But once again, I think. Well, DeChambeau to me has no integrity, so I don't. DJ, he doesn't either. Neither one of them have any integrity whatsoever to me. And Kevin, you ain't gonna win no more anyway. It's all the guys who know they're not gonna win on the tour again. I mean, Brooke Koepka's your little brother. What? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's see what that's gonna be. But the thing is this: they have a lot of money. But the thing is gonna come down to what I said yesterday. It's about your legacy. And the reason why you joined the tour in the first place is to measure yourself against other guys who are great. That's why you joined the tour. It wasn't to make money. Yeah, it was to make some money. But let's face it, you wanted to say, how did I fare against Tiger? How do I fare against Phil? Or how do I fare against Byron Nelson, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer, Lee Trevino? You go on and on and on. How do I stand up against a guy? Just like the NFL or NBA or Major League Baseball. I want to know how I stand up against these guys. That's how I measure myself. DJ realized, hey, this guy was like, oh, DJ is one of the top 5 golfers ever. No, he's not.
No.
He's not even in my top 10. Are you serious? No,
he's not top 5 for sure.
No, I'm like, you're high. But, DJ knows he's not going to win. Sergey and all these guys, they know they can't win. So let's go make as much money as we possibly can.
Well, that's what Mickelson did. That's just a money grab for him.
That's a money grab for him, straight up. There's no question.
Yeah.
There's no
50
question.
years old and looks like he's all hopped up on Mountain Dew and all his pictures.
Well, he drinks enough of it. Hey, the question is how much they're going to pay John Daly.
Well,
I was about John Daly had jumped over
there.
That'd
be pretty funny.
He'll jump over. They won't have to pay him anything. He'll probably win some money on his own. But, Bryson DeChambeau, the guy was sitting there talking about, oh, he's a great draw. I wouldn't pay to go see Bryson DeChambeau. I have no desire to see that guy.
Maybe in a long drive contest.
I don't have no desire to go see him. I don't have any desire to go see DJ. None.
Right.
When I went to the PGA, I didn't care. I didn't follow none of those guys. Didn't care whether they were there or not. Didn't follow any of them.
I'd follow DJ's wife around, being that women on Wednesday.
I don't think Paulina was there. Paulina Gretzky. Yeah, she's a hottie, no doubt about that. Boy. Wayne did real. He and his wife. Well, his wife, Janet, she's not unattractive to look at as well.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But that's our thing. All right, Drew, thank you for coming on Women Only Wednesday, brother. Are you coming on tomorrow for the After the Storm Thunder draft preview?
Yeah, I'll do that for sure. I'll brush up. I'll try to brush up a little bit tonight during the game.
Yeah, what I'm going to do, Drew.
You got a good website for me to go to that I can check
what I'm going to do is I'm going to check on, I'm going to be doing, what are the Thunder's options is 30 and 34. If you're going shooters in the league, who do you want to draft? Who do you want to trade to get a shooter that's proven in the NBA right now? Or
that might be available.
Oh, yes. Or do you want to go college route? And who are some of the top 50 guys who we know, because in the thing I have the top 12. So who do we like other than that in 30 and 34 that are sure? Because remember, we got Jeremiah Robinson Earl in the 34th last year. So with the 34th.
And you really think the guard from Duke's going to go high, huh?
Yeah. I think he's going to go high. Now, if your boy was coming out this year, I'd say he'd be the 34th pick. I'd take Love if he was coming out.
Yeah, he'd be in there. I mean, I think would take him coming out this year. That's about where he'd been.
Yeah, I'd take him there. I mean, because he can play making. He reminds me a lot of Trey Mann, but he can shoot better. That's what he reminds me of.
He's going to get better too.
Yep, staying one more year did not hurt him at all.
No,
it did not hurt him at all.
Plus, he signed a $455,000 NIL deal.
Shocking, right? Hey, but you know what though? That's like OSU girls is like your North Carolina Tar Heels. Next year, it's gonna be a huge difference for them, man.
Oh yeah,
it's gonna be a huge difference for them losing, them coming back. It's gonna be great. So, anyway, brother,
I think OSU baseball will be strong next year too.
Yeah, they should be.
They'll be all right.
Holiday will have them back.
They're gonna lose Big Boy to the draft in the first round, but they should be able to replace him.
They should go out and recruit. That's all you gotta do, Drew, is go out and recruit. So. Appreciate you, brother.
That stadium, they shouldn't have any problem recruiting.
Speaking of O'Brien, we talked about that earlier, how OU needs to build their OU women's softball team something comparable to O'Bright for softball.
Yeah.
I mean, not as many seats, but comparable to O'Bright as far as the layout, as far as the beauty, as far as the things that they can offer inside. But, I know right now OU is probably struggling a little bit more financially overall. The universities and a lot of debt, so they've got to pay off some bonds before they do anything. So, anyway, brother, I appreciate you.
Hey, man, I do appreciate you. Sorry for the cutting out in and out on you. I was out in the middle of nowhere this afternoon.
That's all right, brother. We had your own, and that's all that matters. Appreciate you. That was my boy, Drew Henthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. Go check him out. He's been killing. What is he, like 45 and 24 or something stupid like that? what the NBA are 48 now and 20, whatever, something stupid. Hey, Drew, you need to go. I'll get Drew, and tomorrow I'm gonna ask him what his numbers were for NBA this year. It's been insane after tonight. So HuskerDrewPicks.com. Please, by all means, go in and check him. And once again, I want to thank my guys and my peeps, Carolyn and Randy, over at YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. The bank that makes things happen. You want to pre-qualify online for any loans that you might need, car, house, refinance, commercial building, whatever you need at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. And also, I want to thank everybody for your support. Our numbers have been going up as far as viewership. Like I said, what's coming up is for you guys' ability to call into the show, give us your opinion, and we're not going to be rude or whatever. Your opinion is your opinion. Whether you agree with me or not is irrelevant. I'm not going to agree with anybody. But my thing is this: if you make a better point than my point, then I will admit I was wrong and you're right. So the challenge will be on for people to prove me wrong validly, not getting all mad and upset, but give me a valid point on why you disagree and why you think your point is better. That being said, I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of the Unpopular Hour Women Only Wednesday. And I want to appreciate your support. And once again, I'm Matt Clark.